Okay, let's have this conversation with Dr. Sam Amadi. He's a RISE analyst and the director at Abuja School of Social and Political Thoughts. Very warm welcome, Dr. Sam Amadi. Troubling times for Nigeria. Investments drive, win investors. I heard that since the advent of this democracy. Never heard that, in the 60s or 70s and the rest. The investors were running down here to Nigeria, even though we had just the single gauge train and the rest.
Well,
what has gone wrong?
Well, I think, interestingly, since you made a point, since that we started hearing about this investment drive, we've not actually got much investment. If you look at the data also, you see that even in the oil sector, Angola, others are getting more.
Gabon.
People are not coming to Nigeria. In fact, the Nigerian
Equatorial
oil
Guinea
sector has not got significant investment for a long time. And it's because three things. One is that investors are no longer persons who come and meet them in countries. Data is there. They look at internet. They have the information. They know favorable investment climate. But the more important fact is that actually we are getting less than actually remittances. That's really surprising. If you look at in 2014, that's when we had about equal number of remittances. If they have the data, they will show it. 20 billion, 20 billion. Okay. Since then, it's been going down and going down. And we are seeing more of, if I show you the data myself here, I have it, you see that we see more, like in 2014, we had capital investments about 20.75 billion. 2014, 21.5. Remittance was more. In 2016, 2015, it was 9.something billion. Remittance was 20. All through, it's only in 2019 they were equal to 23 billion. Since then, 9 billion, 6 billion, 5 billion. This was 23, 17, and last year, 2022 was about 21 to 22 billion. So the question then is, why, if we have more funds coming to the country from diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora, than the investors who are going, traveling, spending money, shouldn't we be less focused on so-called summits, investment drive that's not returning much? So if you look at that table, you see that since 2015, at least, every year, Nigerians in diaspora are bringing more dollar, more foreign currency than investors, whether greenfield or brownfield. And almost sometimes twice the volume. And we have the NITCOM, of course, but we're not having strategic focus on how can we then use these funds from Nigerian diaspora to put it into strategic investment. Now, the notion government has, which is wrong, is that chasing foreign investment is actually how to grow the economy. No. We have capacity to optimize even local financing. We're not doing that much. We're not doing learning, optimizing productivity through technology progress, through learning, improving how to generate more value. We're not even economizing on the funds from Nigerians come to this country. So in many countries in the world, you could actually have a funding mechanism where instead of Nigerian diaspora sending small money to their various for proceeds, they can actually pull that money and then direct it into strategic investment. And the good thing about that is that you won't have a lot of capital flight.
Who is going to manage that investment? Nigerians here or the diaspora?
No. The government. That's why if the government is credible, think in terms of sovereign wealth fund. Are you not pulling resources to invest?
Have you forgotten what happened to the sovereign wealth fund? Who championed that cause against the President Obasanjo when he opened it?
It was APC there and that was and
at the end of the day, they squandered the entire money.
No, but that's the point. So why chase foreign investors when they're not even coming? So look at it, 20, sometimes 5 billion, and the remittance from Nigerians to something billion. And actually, we're not even, when I was in foreign affairs with Chief Joe Madekwa, special advisor, what they call the concept of citizen diplomacy. The idea is make these Nigerians feel much more committed to the country and use them just like India did with Bangalore, where some of the scientists in MIT went to form the Indian Institute and the Infosys systems, and then they grew up this back-end low tech. So the problem is that we are not optimizing our human capability. We're not even optimizing the financial resources of our people. We're not even optimizing the foreign large diaspora that has, with this forex improvement, who could actually bring in more money. And when they bring it, we don't even care where the money is going to, how we can help them invest in the local economy. So the question then is, If foreign investment has been dropping since 2014, and we're doing more shuttles across diplomatic shuttles, talking to communities, making heavy weather of talking to people in Korea, India, and then look at the numbers. The numbers suggest that actually they're not coming.
It's not yielding fruit.
It's not yielding fruit. So shouldn't we focus more on governance, improving the environment, dealing with issues of security, rule of law? I mean, rule of law has collapsed dramatically. And so if you're talking to the guys, whether in India or Taiwan or Philippines or London,
to bring their money,
they see the rating. They know the world justice rating on rule of law is very bad. They know the democracy rating is very bad. They look at fragility state index, they are very bad. So all those indicators that
So where is Nigeria good in all of this?
Unfortunately, recently Nigeria isn't good in none of the key indicators. Nigeria is improving. If you look at ease of doing business, we are not improving that much. If you look at state stability, which is critical driver of where to invest, but if you look at rule of law, which is also very important because property right, protection of a property, investment in certainty and regulatory certainty, those make up the rule of law index. We are doing very badly. So the question then is, and if you look at our institutions, the Afro Barometer says about 75% of Nigerians don't trust the judiciary, don't trust the electoral system. So why would it then spend so much shot all over the world? And the figure tells a different story that, look, investors are now coming. The worst is the oil sector, where we used to be the numero uno in Africa at least.
The mining
sector, investment is coming in.
The mining sector now, the funny thing is that illegal mining thrives in Nigeria, supported by those in authority, guided by the Nigerian military against, the peoples whose lands are being exploited.
And that's double
tragedy. Go from Niger State, to Zamfara. Go to Zamfara. That is what the Nigerian military, even in Nasarawa State.
Even some part of Abuja here. So, but see the tragedy. Mining has low knock-on effect in terms of technology transfer, has low value chain addition. So what they're doing is double tragedy. They are causing environmental crisis and capital flight. This is taking the raw material out. So even if all the Chinese come to Nigeria to do mining, it has little impact on productivity. It doesn't expand their productivity frontier because it's not involving in technology transfer. It's not involving in creating multiple
value chains. Yeah, so because they're taking the raw materials out.
So they pollute the environment. They increase banditry and criminality and leave no knock-on ripple effect of skill transfer, financial capital formation, or even building capacity for productivity. So essentially, there's no investment coming to this country. So the question is, why are we spending scarce resources? Why
are we using the military to exploit and explore such resources to the advantage of Nigerians? Shouldn't you be asking the chief of defense staff and the chief of army staff some questions?
But that's the point. Now, if the government was patriotic, understand the economics well, what they
patriotism, that's it.
That's the point. So they would do is look at even these resources. We could actually control the mining of it and use it and put it into productive use. So we don't just exploit them. We now think around which of the manufacturing setup outside the country can we bring in here, localize, for example, Tesla. If you need our uranium and all this for your vehicle and or for your phones, they set up manufacturing plants here in this country. That's the kind of foreign investment that you control.
That is going to add value.
You don't have to go to Washington to talk to them. If you set up very well, you deal with them, you communicate with them, they see that, look, the essence of this resource, they can actually produce at cheap cost here, and instead of extracting and taking the raw material out of the country, they create the fabrication, and that requires order, state order, rule of law, stable society, because the human cost of coming to Nigeria to set up those investments and then kidnapping and all is far more. It's more than your labor advantage. So they will go to higher labor, higher cost because overall it's cheaper for them than dealing with a chaos country. So the point is to puncture the balloon that, look, foreign investment is the solution. Look at the data. We're not getting much of it. And if we get it, we're going to get it in a way that half of it goes back in terms of capital flight, payments, repatriation. We have very low, we don't have any capital control in terms of people can repatriate their profits as part of incentive for them to come. So why are we wasting more time? Instead of optimizing diaspora remittance, improving utilization of capital at home, mobilizing resources at home, and creating that technological knowledge transfer and upskilling so that what we have, we can be more productive rather than run around wasting resources we have.
I agree.
Totally.
Can't agree less.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Sam Amadi, a RISE analyst and the director of Abuja
School of Social and Political Thought.
Yeah, thank you.